What's up, guys? It's Micah. I have a really fun video for you guys today. So this one takes place in actually in Silver 3. So at the start of the season I had some bad placement matches and I had a bad loss streak that followed it. Put me in Silver 3. It's actually the lowest I've ever been, but I'm okay with it because it gave me a really good opportunity to teach you guys a thing or two, especially those of you who are newer. So I start out here, I focus on the Renegade. I know I'm in Silver 3, and so I'm assuming / hoping that these players are not going to have very good defensive skills, and then I'll be able to get some quick bursts. The Ellie shows me a little better than that, but quick kill on the Renegade either way, and then we get the Dragon Hunter down. So starting off well, at least you would think, because we've got 2 kills, right? So I see the Virtuoso. After dueling the Ellie a little bit, I know that she's going to be a harder kill, so I'm wanting to focus on the Virtuoso. I also notice that my teammate's down, so finish off the Virtuoso, and for some reason, teammate does not res. I see the Renegade's back in the fight, so let me focus him. I was able to drop him quickly once before, let me do it again, right? So focusing on him, doing a couple of little Willbender damage combos here. And then I start to realize this fight is kind of lost. As you can see, I have 2 thieves here. They're kind of rotating off of midpoint. In fact, let me just back this up. See if we can get that shot one more time. So you can see I've got a couple enemies here. We have a guy down. And as I turn around, we've got Dragon Hunter. They have a down, but they have another. And we have 2 people rotating off of mid, which they're thieves, so you can't blame them. But I realized right here, despite generating kills, somehow we managed to lose this team fight. And on top of that, I'm going to pause it again here. You'll notice we've lost the entire map, and we lost the mid fight. So ask yourself at this point, would you be wanting to give up? I know a lot of players, I won't say any names, but I know a lot of players who after the first wipe, after the first display from the team that maybe the team isn't the best, they give up, they'll say GG, go next, they'll sit in the spawn and they'll wait. So ask yourself, would you give up at this point? Okay, I'm going to continue. So for me, obviously I didn't give up. I decided, okay, let me push far. We lost mid somehow. But that's okay. Let's go push far. Usually if you can't team fight, it's a good idea to play sides, especially on a big map like this one, where it takes a little bit longer for teammates to rotate in from dying. So at this point, I'm pretty confident I can win any of the 1v1s, which is part of why I rotated to far. So kind of trying to engage anybody that I can and get a kill. And I do a couple of misclicks here. This is actually kind of sad and embarrassing because I miss my F3 and then I mess up my sword port and I'm like, man, I don't even have enough mobility to chase the thief. Plus the Renegade's back, so let me focus on him. So I've got a buddy with me at this point, and thief comes back. We also get another teammate, so my hope was a little bit to kind of solo this and let my team focus on the rest. But either way, we get a solid wipe at far. Now, I know that they're just going to spawn in and go straight back and decap far if I leave it there. But at the same time, I decided here, I believe at this point what I was thinking is, you know what, if we're going to win these team fights, we're going to need these artifacts. So come in here and looky there. Now, the combo that I use here, this is Spear 5 followed by your utility port. The name escapes me at the moment. But that gets a knockdown on him, and you can usually follow up with Spear 3 and Spear 2. It's a really good damage combo. It's not what I would necessarily use against in a 1v1 that, you know, your opponent's focused on you, he's ready for the 1v1. But it's great for AoE attacks if there's 2 or 3 of them and you want to open pretty strong, or to catch someone off guard. Because a knockdown followed by a massive burst is just always good. Can get you massively ahead in a fight if nothing else. But I'd recommend sword if you're doing a regular duel. So right there, I went to put some health on him while the artifact finished off the teammate there, or the enemy there, excuse me. And for whatever reason, he did not res again. That's the second time that he hasn't resed after finishing an enemy. It's kind of sus, actually. But we'll actually see that, I think, once more before the match ends. So here we've got the boys coming back in. So I kind of give him some cheeky Willbender heal because Willbender has that despite being pure damage. And at this point in my head, I'm kind of scrambling a little bit, trying to figure out, like, while I damage these guys, what do I need to do here? What is the winning state of the map? And that's a question that you always want to ask yourself. If you're doing something and you're losing, it's like, okay, why am I losing? Even if you're winning where you're at, like in that first fight, I was winning the fight for the team, but it didn't work. So why didn't it work? And so you want to ask yourself these questions. Now, at this point, let me pause. Actually, let me back that up just a hair because I want y'all to see this this image here. So at this point, we get the second knock, we get the third knock, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm glancing up at my mini-map, and I'm going, okay, we've got a fight going on at home. Could we lose it? Possibly. But we have 3 down at mid. So I'm thinking, okay, mid is 1. If we lose home, let me take far. And in my head, I'm also thinking, you know, I can duel these guys, so if they spawn and they come to me, that could be a good thing. That could generate kills, and that could kind of secure this, and hopefully our team could take this, rotate, take home, so on and so forth. But as I leave mid, and I see one of them rezzing, I'm glancing up at my mini-map here. I'm watching my friend's health, and all of a sudden, somebody goes down at mid. Now you'll notice the Ellie and the Thief are at our home. So this is a downstate player or multiple downstate players that knock our guy at mid. And I'm sitting here going, what? And the Thief, my initial thought was, well, he can help him, right? But he left. He rotated home. So I'm watching these guys get up and I'm like, I can't get there in time. That's what I did there. I need to help him. No, I can't get there in time. So at this point I realized mid is lost. Despite 3 enemy players being down. Once again, ask yourself in this situation, if you would quit, if you would give up. I know a lot of players that would. But I haven't given up. I start trying to use my port to get in there. So clean up the renegades so that way another teammate doesn't go down. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, I need to help them clean up home. Whatever's happening at home needs to stop because we've got 3 players there. So I see their Ellie, and in my head at this moment I'm thinking, okay, is the Ellie the problem? The Ellie was difficult at the beginning of the match. Maybe she's the one causing problems for our team. So I kind of tuck that away in my head. I'm thinking, well, okay, we've got her killed. I noticed that we lost far, and I see 2 enemies focusing my teammates, so let me come over and peel for them. Start on the Dragon Hunter. He uses his renewed focus. That's the elite skill on the Dragon Hunter. Now, I want to pause here. I want to explain this concept. A lot of people, I feel like, kind of miss this. So seconds in this game are very, very valuable. Right here, let me back this up. So you see I focus on him. If he did not have renewed focus, which is his invuln, then I could just DPS him down, kill him, move on to the next guy. But because he uses renewed focus, I know that now there's about 2 seconds that I have to focus on the Virtuoso. And I also know that the Virtuoso deals a lot of damage. So I'm watching him, and I don't know if I even noticed that my teammate got mowed there. I can't remember. But I'm watching him basically free cast on my teammate. And so in these 2 seconds, I decide, you know what? Let me put some pressure on the Virtuoso. I don't want him to free cast because any player, whether they're good at PvP or not, if they're good at PvE and they know how to cast a combo, they can sit there and deal damage. When players start to fall apart, and often what keeps you in silver is you start to get pressured and you panic, and you panic dodge, and you panic heal, and you panic all kinds of stuff. So I want to pressure this guy. I want to get him off of my teammate. And so I use a couple of seconds here just to port up. I do a simple sword 5 to 4 to 3 combo, and he goes invuln, and I go right back on the Dragon Hunter. And now my teammate is free there. So a lot of times in situations like that, people don't think in terms of getting the teammate or putting pressure on the enemy player. You need to think that way, because if an enemy player doesn't feel pressure, again, they're just going to sit there and free cast. But if you can put pressure on this guy and then switch over and put pressure on that guy, absolutely do that. It's not just about getting kills. Sometimes you're not going to kill them faster than they kill you unless you shut down the one dealing damage. So I wanted to point that out. So anyways, so I got the Dragon Hunter down, then I got the Virtuoso down, and then I look up and the Dragon Hunter has gotten up despite being surrounded by friendly players. So I know that he already used his Renewed Focus, which is really the only defensive skill of a Dragon Hunter. So jump back in there, finish him off. We got 2 down, and then I see our old buddy, old pal Mushroom going down at mid again. So there's 2 guys here. Again, I'm trying to peel. At the end of the day, there wasn't really much I could do. Didn't have a lot of cooldowns. So, kind of back up, make sure the Virtuoso's still dying. But at this point, it's, well, we got to get these kills. So, get the Renegade down. I stayed focused on him because Thieves are real squirrely, and they can usually get away. So, clean up just a little bit. And at this point, I was thinking about the artifact. And then the Mesmer's clone knocks me. I believe that was like a 9k crit. I checked it later. I can't remember. But I finish him off. And then I decide, you know what? Artifact's not worth it. We already have Sword. And the time that it takes me to get the artifact is going to be time where I'm not attacking the enemy. And I was afraid that my buddy was going to go down mid there. So go in. I help him at mid. We get the kill. And now I'm going to pause it right here again. So take a look at the state of the map. We've gotten the kill at home. So we're winning home. We've got our Necro rotating to mid. We have, it looks like, one of our artifacts grabbing the other artifact for some reason. That's fine. At least the enemy doesn't get it. So I'm like, all right, we own home. We own mid. We need to push into far, and hopefully the enemies will come to me, and I can generate kills and cap far at the same time, because we have quite a deficit to pick up as far as points go. So I see a couple enemies trickling in. Pretty confident in my abilities to handle him, so I engage on him. I notice he invulns pretty quick, but he comes off of it, so I get a nice kill there. Thief uses some evades. Don't have a whole lot of cooldowns, so I'm kind of just making sure I don't die. Know he's going for the res there, so I put down some AoE, go for some damage, and the Dragon Hunter enters the fight. So I get out of his longbow and his trap there. That longbow 5 will put you in a little trap right at the end of its animation. So you got to kind of dodge that or stay out of the radius. Okay, now watch this here. This is important. So you can see that he tethers me here with, I think it's called Spear of Justice. It's the Dragon Hunter's F1. He can pull me back into his traps, into whatever kind of damage combo he wants to deal. And I don't have any cooldowns. I don't have stability, which would be this one here. I don't have renewed focus yet. So I've got to move. So you'll see I dodge roll behind cover here, and then he pulls me, and it just hits the cover. So that just keeps me from getting pulled into like what he has right there, those traps. And then I, stepped on it anyway. So much for all of that. At this point, I know my cooldowns are low, and one of the, I think it was the Virtuoso, got picked up. So now there's 3 of them. There's 1 of me. I have low cooldowns. I just used renewed focus. So I try to open with a combo on the Virtuoso. Doesn't work. I know that Dragon Hunter's struggling, but I can't take a 2v1. I have to create some space and use some obstacles to dodge around if I want to win this. So I go for some damage on the Dragon Hunter again. And ultimately kind of whiff this combo, but I still hit him. Get him super low. Again, really just trying not to die here as my team comes to back me up. At this point, I've got some movement skills back. So I decide I'm going to push in and try and finish off this Dragon Hunter. Trying to generate as many kills as I can for the team. That's more or less your role if you're playing Willbender or any damaging spec. Don't want him to get rezzed, so I go and try to interrupt that. Drop my little AoE attack on him. It gets the kill on the Virtuoso, so now we have 2 down. I fought the Renegade before, so I'm pretty confident that I can get this kill even with low cooldown. So I focus him, we get the kill there. And then the Thief comes in. And with help from the teammate, I get him down 2. So now at this point, I'm looking up at the scoreboard and seeing 417, 418 to 260. However, I'm also looking at the mini-map, and I see sword at home. We could lose that, but I know we've won mid, or so I hope. We've been here before, but we got 4 down. We've got a couple enemies, or excuse me, friendlies focusing on them. At this point, I realized, and you'll notice I come right up to their spawn. At this point, I realized the only way to win this match, again, racking my brain, how do we win this? What does the state of the match need to be? And I realized at this point, only a super aggressive play is going to win us this game. We need to win this fight here, hopefully, and hopefully my teammates will rotate over there and win it for us. We need to own this node, we need to own this node, and I need to kill a couple of guys coming out of the spawn. Because if I don't kill them and they decap, and let's say they win here, they could probably go mid. You know, it's just going to snowball them to victory because they're so far ahead and they're so close to a win. So I get super aggressive here. I go straight for the Dragon Hunter. I was hoping he didn't have renewed focus, but either way, he pops it instantly. So now he doesn't have renewed focus, and now I know I can get a kill on him pretty quick. I didn't dodge out of his longbow 5 there. I think I got confused there because I didn't really do a very good burst on him. I think I was worried about some of the other guys coming from spawn. So I get mowed here, and there's 3 of them. But again, I'm like, this is the winning state of the game. I have to win this 1v3 or else we're going to lose. That was the way I saw it in my head. So I'm kind of just kiting a little bit, waiting for the opportunity to burst, swap into my spear combo. I go 5, 3, and 2, and 4. And just like that, I win the 1v3. Now I don't want them to cap the node, and they're super close to capping it. So I get on the node there. I'm trying to DPS them out so that I can start capping the node. And I glance up at my mini-map and I see that we've won. So we've got 2 nodes. If I cap this, we'll have a 3rd, and I just killed 3 people. Then I get knocked down by the downstate of the Mesmer again. I should have been ready for that. But either way, he's super low, so I get the kill. Now I see the thief coming back into the fight. I stand on node. Ordinarily, I'm going to pause it here. Ordinarily, guys, if there's a thief coming at you and you have less than half of your health left, you need to get off of the node. The reason I stay on the node here is because, 1, you'll see my opening. I have my knockdown, I have my port. So I was actually waiting for him to get relatively close, and I was going to aggress on him to try and catch him off guard. I knew that there was a skill gap between me and this player, all due respect to him. I knew there was a skill gap, and so I knew that I could take him, even with low cooldowns. Ordinarily, if this is a, you know, gold 3 platinum player or whatever, this is not what you want to do. You want to get off the node because most of the time thieves have extra damage against players that have less than half health anyways. So yeah, that's not always a good idea, but again, I'm thinking in terms of I've got to win this. I've got to snowball these opponents, so I'm playing super, super aggressive. And because I've dueled all of these guys, essentially throughout the match, I don't feel super threatened by any one of them. Okay, so I open on the Virtuoso. He immediately goes invuln, so I just go back to the node. And I think I try to reflect him here in a second with, yeah, didn't work. Ate most of his damage there, but still open on him just fine. So he's low. Port over and use my Whirling Light utility attack there. And now I'm looking up at the map going, holy smokes, we're going to win this. But I don't want my teammates to go down. I want to make sure we continue snowballing. So another spear combo there to finish him off. That gives us a kill. Now, I don't want the Virtuoso to get up, so use all of my movement skills here to get over to him quick, put some damage on him. Then I decide, you know, we've almost won. So I deal damage to him, and you can see we're losing these other fights. But I know that I get the kill, that's 5 points, and if I hold the node, we can get 5 points before they get their 50. So just like that, we take the match. And I want you guys to ask yourselves again, would you have quit at any point in this match? Would you have labeled this an unwinnable match and given up, or would you have kept fighting? never give up. If what you're doing at some point in the match is not netting you a win, do something else. At the beginning of the match, we won the team fight, sort of, or we were winning the team fight as far as I was concerned as the DPS guy generating kills, but we still lost, and we lost both of the side nodes, and I had to run out of there. So then it was, well, let's play sides, and then it was, okay, let me try and help home and kill the Ellie. I changed strategy a lot. And maybe a more experienced player could have made a better call earlier on. That absolutely. But either way, whatever your level of play is, do something different. If one strategy isn't working, try something else. And that's what I kept doing there. And so, you know, if you're a higher rated player and you feel like you're stuck in the lower ratings, if you feel like your rating is lower than it should be, maybe you deserve to be in Gold 2 or Gold 3 or whatever, and you're stuck in Silver 3, you need to find out what's holding you back, and this should be an encouragement to you. You can carry your team. If I was not in that match, a player equal or better than me would have done the same, but if I was truly maybe a Silver 3 or a Gold 1 or something like that, yeah, I would have lost. But if you feel like you're a higher level player, these games are absolutely carryable. You can carry them, but you have to figure out what is the weakness, what do you have to pull off. So anyways, I hope you guys got value out of that. Hopefully you learned something. I'll see you guys on the next one.